will play in the league's final series for the first time in his 16-year NBA career. Paul had 31 in the second half. The Suns pulled away in Los Angeles and win Game 6, 130 to 103 to win the Western Conference title for the third time in franchise history. What a night for the Phoenix Suns. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to have you with us. That's the Jet, Jason Terry, right over there. This is Greg Anthony. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us. You got to feel good for Monty Williams. Got to feel good for Phoenix Suns fans who had waited 10 years just to be in the postseason, 11 years just to be in the postseason, and now headed back to the finals for the first time in 28 years. And Jet, they earned it tonight, and Chris Paul in particular just took over this game in the third quarter.
Congratulations to CP3, man. It's been a long, hard road, and it's still not finished yet, but the feeling of getting to your...
And then the perspective of, think of the stage of his career. How many years he's been at this level. I mean, even this year, 16th season?
16th.
He was in the top 5 for MVP. He goes to a team that didn't make the postseason. Not only last year, the last 10 years, takes him to the NBA Finals. And, yeah, he didn't win the MVP, but, that's what value is. People get caught up so much in your statistics, and they don't focus on your impact, the intangible impact, your ability to motivate and elevate those around you. And you see how those guys not only revere him, but he inspires them, and when they needed him most, he was at his best.
Right.
Down the stretch, on the road, after the demoralizing, and in this case, it was his ability to score the basketball. And, you look at those two games, how about what he did in Houston the year they went to the conference finals before the hamstring at the end of that game 5, where I think he had 41. I mean, to me, that's what clutch is. And that's why this man's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he's going to go down arguably as the best small point guard that ever played a game. When you get past all the hyperbole and we have time to let all this stuff sink in, when you go look at the tangible record and resume that he has put together, it's going to end up being second to none. He's All-NBA 10 times, All-NBA defense, I think 7 or 8 times.
A bunch.
He's led the league in steals 6 times, assists 4. I mean, there's nobody else that's accomplished those kinds of feats, man. And I just tip my cap to the man.
Boy, and he and Monty Williams go back a long way to their New Orleans days, and now they're headed to the NBA Finals together. Let's hear from the Suns head coach.
Hey guys, congratulations. We're going to start with Colin Harmon with ABC 15.
Monty, congratulations. This journey that you, Chris, Book, everyone has been on, how do you describe what this moment is like tonight?
I couldn't do it justice right now. I'm just unbelievably grateful for the blessings that I've received as a coach, working with people like Randy, getting to coach the players, moments like this, just out there on the floor talking to a few of the guys. They were trying to figure out the feelings we were all having. And I remember being in those moments when I was, in San Antonio. It's hard to describe. You're just grateful for it. And we know we have more work to do, but it's hard to describe it in the moment. You're just grateful for being in these moments with people you're with every single day. And thankful for your family, thankful for, again, the people you work with, thankful for the fans that travel. And to be able to win a game like that is huge for the organization, the city, all of that stuff. So that's what I have in my heart right now. It's just a lot of gratitude, and I'm just so thankful God has given me the job I have, and I get to work with the people I work with.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Congratulations, Coach. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Chris Paul, that late third, early fourth, where it was just a takeover. Just speak to how you were watching him. Was a matter of just, you talked about taking the paintbrush out of his hand in New Orleans. You certainly let him have it.
Well, I've told you guys from the jump I wanted to stay out of his way. And there was questions about his production before tonight, and in my heart, I felt like it was a matter of time. I didn't know it was going to be like that, but that's who Chris is, you know. And he was tired, and he was still making those kinds of plays, getting to the basket, the threes, orchestrating everything. And you know, I'm grateful that I get to coach him again. You know, when I first had him in 2010, and he went on actually to come here. In your wildest dreams, you couldn't have, you know, put it together in this way. And so to watch him out there tonight, I was so grateful to be on his side. And then I really enjoyed watching him and his emotions after the game. I was like, I must be getting old now because I'm enjoying watching other people. You know what I mean? It used to be about me. Now I'm looking at everybody else having a good time. I'm like, man, I'm getting old.
But yeah, I saw at one point you had your arms around him over his. What was that moment like? You connected with him finally.
I mean, it's just authentic. That's what I felt like doing. I'm not into cool. You know, I just felt like hugging him. And I think his parents were right behind us, and you know, he was emotional. I felt for him, and you know, I had my emotional time before the game. That's why Randy's sitting here with me today. About 2:30, we were in the locker room, and it was just Randy and I was like, man, Randy, we're so close. And then Randy starts telling me what he felt about me, because he's been with me since day one in New Orleans. And I broke down before the game, you know, and so I understood the emotions that, you know, Chris was dealing with. I just ran out of tears. I used all mine up about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. So when Chris started crying, I told Jay, I said, Jay was laughing. He's like, Chris is gonna start crying. I said, yeah, I have mine early. He looked at me, I said, dude, I broke down about 2:30, 3 o'clock today. I was gone, because Randy had just spoke from the heart to me about some things that we've been through. He's been with me every step of the way since New Orleans and now. So just grateful for those moments.
Congrats again, Coach.
Thank you.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Gina Mizell.
Congratulations, coaches. Monty, I saw you had a moment with Devin too, with your arm around him. You look at the moment that he had last year, and you told him in the locker room at the bubble, you've been through a lot. He stuck around in this situation. There are a lot of the situations that end up differently like this, but he stuck around in Phoenix, and for him to get here, just how do you feel for him as a coach and a friend?
I just feel I'm happy for him, you know, because I've been with him every day now athletically for 2 years. So I've seen the work, I've seen the passion, I've seen his family and how they, not just him, but they want it. They love Phoenix. They don't want to go anywhere. They wanted to do it there. And so for us to be in this position to go forward and have a chance to win a championship, it takes me back to my first conversation with him at a restaurant in Scottsdale. He looked me right in the eyes and he said, Coach, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And that was the beginning, you know. And so to see him in this position is gratifying, but he'd be the first one to tell you, you know, we enjoy this, but we know we have more work to do. You know, he's dead set on competing for a championship, and that's been his focus, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Dave McMenamin.
Guys, congrats. Randy, I'll ask you, what is this moment like for you, and just that conversation earlier in the day, just how did that unfold from your perspective? And
well, it's been great to be alongside this gentleman for, what's now, 7 years? 5 in New Orleans and 2 here. He respects the position, and that's really gratifying for me to see how much work he puts into it. I told him today, like, we'll have a situation that we want to talk about at the end of the day before we all go home. I know the next day he's put in the time to come up with a solution for that situation. And you respect that. I've seen that for 7 years. I've seen the growth for 7 years. So that's really special for me to see. And it's been 20 years for me to get back to this point. So it's, you know, you got to put in the time, I guess. It's a grind, but I'm happy to be here.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, and then Mark Spears.
Congrats, Monty. Congrats, Randy. Lonnie, I guess both of you being basketball lifers and knowing what it's like to keep your all through the grind and all that, do you have any sense of the opportunity tonight, how special it was, Chris Paul playing his former team, making finals for the first time, playing for his former coach and the new situation, like all of that coming together? Could you put words to it?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I wouldn't do it justice. It'd be really hard to do that, but you just never think that you're going to have those kinds of opportunities. It's a bit of a sweet spot, you know. We haven't won the championship that we want to win, but to see it come together like this, for Chris to be able to come back here, Randy and I and Willie Green were together with him in New Orleans. Then, you know, he left and we stayed in contact. Randy and Chris stayed in contact. We were all still tight. Then for us to get back together again and do this, like, how do you put that into words? You know, you're just like watching it from afar. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're in it, you're just kind of watching it like, wow, this is pretty cool. And I'm really happy for Chris because, again, I see the work that he puts in. I see the care. You saw the tears after the game. You know, you never know if you're going to be in these positions. And you watch guys get there 3, 4, 5 times. Some people get there, you know, more than that. And you're like, man, I've worked my tail off, you know. And then you just realize it's a blessing because everybody works at it. And so if you get a chance to be a part of it, you realize you've been unbelievably blessed. And so to see it come together the way that you described is pretty cool.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, and then Jovan Buha.
Both of y'all, congratulations. Can you tell me just about this? So much happened today that we forget that Chris was out, that he had the COVID issue.
Yeah.
I mean, can you talk about that to where you are now? And then also, he was balling today too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this is like a game, I don't know when's the last time he's played like this, but you can talk about like just how this whole series started and then also what you saw tonight from him.
I mean, for him to put up 41 and 8 and control the game that he did, like, this is the second time we've closed the team out, and he's, you know, I think he had 37 in the closeout game against Denver. It's just who he is. But when we started the series, even before the first series started, I got the call, you know, hey, Chris might be out. And you just, your heart sinks for a second because you're like, man, like, not right now, you know what I mean? But after talking to him and talking to the team and you know, watching Jay and Book and those guys grow in their leadership roles and hold it down until Chris could get back, it's just been a emotional ride for us just in this series alone. But we've dealt with it the whole playoffs. I mean, the Lakers series, he gets a stinger or whatever that was in his shoulder. He's playing with half of his body, basically. You know, he's playing with one arm. And so I've told our guys, everything you want's on the other side of hard. You know, you just have to continue to persevere as best you can and not give up, and hopefully something good is on the other side.
This is my last question, but what can the world learn from this series?
Will, you know, you never quit. You know, he has a number of contemporaries that have won championships and been in this position, and having been around him, that's all he wants. He wants to be a part of winning, and he's persevered through a lot. You know, injuries, playoff heartbreak. You know, being as close as he was in Houston, and getting hurt, and not having a chance to compete for a title. I know that burned him, and so for me to be able to, you know, watch that and then be in a position with him to go forward and have a chance is pretty cool. If you can learn anything from Chris Paul, is to keep going, don't quit, serve others, because that's what he does. He cares about his teammates. He spends a lot of time. You guys have no idea how much time he spends with these young guys on our team. And I think when you serve people like that, they follow you, you know, and that's why he's such a good leader, because he serves the guys that are around him.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Dan Woike.
Hey guys, congrats. I want to ask about DeAndre. This was his 11th double-double playoffs, and kind of bounced back from last game where it was I guess, subpar by his standards. But this was the second time he did that in this series. What have you seen from him in terms of his growth and, more importantly, his consistency?
I think with DA, Randy could attest to this because he and Mark Bryant spend more time with him than I do, actually. But he's just learned how to embrace the grind, you know, the day in, day out work, and then he's starting to see it pay off on this level. You know, it's one thing to see it pay off in the regular season. It's totally different to see a guy dominate series after series after series and see all the work that he's put in and all the things that they do every single day. Randy and Mark and the group of bigs, I think that's what I've seen from him. He's embraced the work. He's embraced being a part of the scouting report. He's embraced coaching. He understands that we're trying to call him up, not out, and how much we care about him. He's embraced it all. And at first it wasn't as easy because he didn't know me and I really didn't know him, and there was a lot of new stuff coming at him, and then he had the pressure of being a #1 pick. Once he got all of that out of his mind, I think he just embraced his role and embraced the grind of trying to be a really good NBA player.
Got time for 3 more. Next is going to be Dan Woike with the LA Times, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Mark. I think it might have been the third quarter when the Clippers went on that 10-0 run. They blow coverage out of the defense. Chris is open, and he hits that shot.
Yeah.
How big of a shot do you think that was?
It was a shot that helped me loosen up in a certain area of my body. You know what I mean? That was the deal. You know, it was getting to that point where I used the timeout on a challenge, and so my timeouts were starting to get a little dicey, and for whatever reason, they didn't guard him on the right wing, and they just kind of stared at him, and it was a moment. You know, Chris loves those moments, but when he hit that shot, it was almost like symbolically he was like, "Coach, I got it." You know, and he's done that time and time again this season.
Did he say anything in that timeout that you remember?
He and I were both talking about poise and execution. We knew that it could get a bit physical, and you know, every series we've had, it's been emotional. Stuff's happening in a closeout game, and so he was talking about that. I reiterated it. I tried to give us some structure on offense, and you know, we've been talking about poise with this group for a long time, and it paid off tonight.
Final 2 questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Melissa Rowland.
Monty, Randy, congratulations with everything. What was your takeaway of this series with how Devin encountered everything, with playing through the physical nature of the series and adjusting with the mask and playing this game?
Yeah, I mean, for as young as Book is, he's done an awful lot, you know, in his career. And I think people forget, like, even though he wasn't winning as much, he was in a lot of situations, and he was the target every night. And so I don't think this was new for him. It was just on a different stage. And I thought the world saw his fearlessness on the big stage. When we needed a bucket, he was the guy defensively. He was, you know, giving up his body. He got hit in his nose. You know, that thing is broken in like 3 places, and he got cracked in that thing a couple times tonight. But he and Chris, you know, that partnership, when you need a bucket and you're able to give it to guys like that, it's pretty cool. But, you know, Book has seen a lot. And last year in the bubble, you know, I talked to him and I talked to the team about all the stuff that he's been through, and having a lot of people say things about you when they really don't know how hard you're working and how much you care. I think the world saw tonight how much he cares, the way he plays. He gives it up on every single play. That's all you can ask from a player.
Final question is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports.
Hey, Monty. At the beginning of the season, I think it's safe to say most people didn't predict that you guys would be here headed to the NBA Finals. Did you?
I'm going to hold on to that because there's been some really cool stuff that's happened on our team, but I may have been the only one that thought that we could, or was crazy enough to challenge the team with that. But something pretty cool happened earlier this year, and to answer your question, I didn't know we would be here, but that's what we were working for, you know, behind the scenes. I'm not one to make predictions or anything like that, but when you have Chris and Book and then you add Jay and the leadership and the growth of our team and everything that Robert's given us, you thought if things go our way, we could have a shot at competing. But I certainly didn't know we were going to get here, but I was crazy enough to think about it for sure, because I think that's what everybody plays for. And you only get, if you're blessed, you get one shot, you know, sometimes. I've been in an organization in San Antonio where they got a number of shots, and, you know, I couldn't paint it this way, but I certainly thought about it.
Congrats again, Coach. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
But couldn't find the magic tonight. A remarkable run for the Clippers, who reached their first ever conference finals, but it ends tonight.
Last 3 minutes, obviously, the game decided at that point. There's some times I can see you kind of looking out in the crowd. Just at the end of a 5-week run like this, kind of what are you thinking about in that moment?
No, well, first of all, I want to say thank you to the fans. I mean, they were unbelievable throughout this whole journey. We was able to get a packed house. I mean, it was great. And for those fans to show the players the love and support they showed them at the end, you know, even though we lost the game, that just says a lot about our fan base, what our team meant to this city, and it was just great to see. And I also wanted to say I'm proud of our guys. You know, been through a lot this season, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of injuries, but our guys just stayed the course. And we did something special this year, even though we didn't complete what we wanted to complete. You know, I thought we did a great job of just doing something special, doing something this franchise has never done before. And like I said, I want to thank Mr. Ballmer, Lawrence Frank, Mark Hughes, Trent Redden, and the whole Clippers organization for giving me an opportunity to do that. And like I told our guys in the locker room, I love those guys. I go to war with them anytime. And so just proud of them, even though we came up short. You know, it was a great run, despite everything we had to go through.
Is there any moment in the last 5 weeks that you pick out as something that's going to stick with you?
I can't hear you, Andrew.
Is there anything in the last 5 weeks, like this playoff run, that's going to stick with you? You feel like from just the ups and downs and the comebacks?
I just think our team, you know, just like Reggie talked about earlier, just all the different people and all the different, you know, thought process and everybody, just different people to come together. You know, Boogie late in the season, Rondo late in the season, you know, guys going down, in and out. But being down 0-2 against Dallas, you know, fighting back and competing and winning that series, you know, being down 0-2 against, you know, Utah, you know, doing the same thing. And our team shows a lot of character. You know, when we're down, we can easily give up and give in, but we just stick with the game plan. We don't point fingers. We stay together. And that was just good for me to see that this year. So when I think back to this season, I think back to the playoff run we had and being down the series, you know, both of those first two and fighting back and winning those. And, you know, what we did this year was special.
Go ahead, Owen. Ty, Reggie was just emotional in here, you know, being brought down to tears. What was it like? What's the emotion for this team? And you guys have come back from so many deficits. Is it almost like a shock that it's now over?
Yeah, it is a shock. You know, and I think it's a shock to a lot of guys in their locker room, and that just tells you a lot about the team. Like, no matter who's playing, we still feel like every night we have a chance to win. You know, no matter who's on the floor. And I thought we ran out of gas. You know, and you know, first thing goes when you get tired and fatigued is mentally. And I just in that first half, you know, we made a lot of mistakes defensively, a lot of mistakes coming out of timeouts or just play calls in general, just not there mentally. And that right there lets you know, the guys were tired, and you know, and mentally it's one of the first things that breaks down. But you know, give your hats off to Phoenix. You know, did a hell of a job. Monty Williams is one of the best coaches in this league, and just the culture he set. You know, bringing CP in and this young team and having everyone buy into their role and what they want to do. And like I said, CP was fantastic tonight, having 41 points, you know, 8 assists, and so Devin Booker is, you know, a star already at a young age, and so they have a great foundation there, you know, with the coaches, you know, with James Jones, the job he's done, you know, with CP and Booker. So congratulations to those guys. They played a hell of a series, and we'll just go from there.
What do you think, Ty, this team has proven to people after how things ended in the bubble last year too, how you guys played in this postseason?
That's behind us. You know, we talked about it all year, and I know, you know, all you guys are waiting for the playoffs to actually see that. But the thing that happened in the bubble, I mean, we lost. I mean, a lot of teams lose. You know, you're not going to win every season. So I think the biggest thing, because we was up 3-1, that was a bigger deal. But I think if it was 2-2 and 3-3 and we lose Game 7, then it wouldn't have been a big deal because Denver's a great team. We see that. So I just think leaving the bubble, leaving that behind, coming into this season adapting, no excuses, next man up mentality, team mentality. And I think those guys got through a lot of tough times this season, just because of that. And we have a tough, gritty group, and sticking together and playing the way we play, things like this can happen. So hopefully we can build off this going into next season.
Ty, you spent a lot of the season advocating for all your guys, but as far as advocating for yourself, you mentioned you think the front office for giving you this opportunity, and how do you feel like you can kind of build off of what you have here compared to your situation in Cleveland?
I don't know. I haven't really thought that far, but I also want to thank my coaching staff, who did an amazing job as well this season. And it's so many that we can't even really name them because we got 1,000 coaches. I don't want to leave any of them out, but our coaching staff was tremendous this year and did a lot to help me out, did a lot for the players. I think having a lot of structure, this season was really good for us. And like I said, I just want to give a shout out to our coaching staff because they did a hell of a job as well.
Go ahead. Obviously, you guys have a ton to be proud of. And big, I know excuses throughout the whole thing. When you look at the schedule you guys just played, was in Kawhi, was in Zoom, not playing. Is there any part of you that has a little regret, just considering how well you did despite all that?
Oh yeah, you always think about it, but a lot of teams have gone through it in the past and gone through it this year as well, and there's nothing you can really do about it. It's part of the game, and so you think about it, if we had our guys, what would have happened or what could have happened, but just got to move on. I think next man up mentality doesn't mean that you don't care and miss those guys, but you got to have a mindset that we don't have them, so we got to come out on the floor and we got to produce in any way we can. And all season long, all playoffs long, different guys have stepped up and been huge for us, and that's the type of team we want to have. So we'll come back at it next year, see what happens, and we can stay healthy, keep guys healthy, and kind of go from there.
Building off that, because I kind of want to ask about that, but going into next year, how can this, because you guys sort of have the building blocks.
Mark Schwartz with ESPN. All right, let's get to the man of the hour, Chris Paul, with 31 of his 41 in the second half to reach his first NBA Finals.
Get to this point. What did it feel like to you in the third and fourth quarter when you were making all of those moments happen and you were at the peak of your powers on that floor and getting closer to that moment?
I don't even know right now. I just remember we was up 17. I came out the game and I looked up and we was up like 5 or 7. And you just always know these closeout games are tough. And I watch every game every night, and you just always see the Clippers. They make a run, third quarter, fourth quarter, they just get it going. And it seemed like that was happening.
Next is Dave McMenamin with ESPN, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Chris over here. To wear a T-shirt, to raise the Western Conference trophy, do it here. I know you're supposed to Rachel about it, but was that a culmination of things that you thought about in idle moments for years and years?
Man, it's been a lot, I'm telling you. Told you I was getting an MRI yesterday on my wrists, and then had all these surgeries over the years. And Tone, the equipment guy in Houston, I remember we was up 3-2, and I didn't get to play those last 2 games in Houston. And Tone had the T-shirt and the hat, you know what I mean? And I never got a chance to get it. I'll never forget that, never forget that. And Jay, our trainer here, equipment guy here, Jay texted me a couple days ago and said, "See, I got the T-shirt and the hat." You know what I mean? All you got to do is do your part. So that's the only thing that I was thinking about. You know what I mean? Is the process. This is just getting us one step closer to where we want to be.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Melissa Rowland.
Yeah, Chris, I've been trying to calculate numbers. I think there was a point you scored 24 of the 30 points when you guys went up big, like 119 and 89, something to that effect. What's it like? What was it like tonight, being in that mode where just Jay was saying that, kept telling you, are you tasting victory, and you were like, no, and you staying in that locked in. What was that like for you tonight?
Yeah, man. They had a lot of experiences. You know what I mean? A lot of ups and downs. And we was up. It's like 5 minutes left. Jay said, "C, can you taste? Can you feel it?" Whoa! He was saying some stuff, and I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay locked in. And it just felt good, I mean, like Book plays with an edge, and I'm the same way, And over the years, people talk junk to me. A lot of times I usually say something back, but I done changed a little. And I just kept thinking, you know what I mean? If we do what we're supposed to do, I'll get the last laugh. You know what I mean? So you stay the course long enough, you break them, and that's what we did.
That's what Jason said about Beverly. He said that whole push that you guys knew then that they were broke.
Yeah. It hurt. It sting. It sting. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Next up is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Jovan Buha.
Hey Chris, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
We all saw the emotions pouring out of you after the game. Can you describe to us what was going through your head at that time?
And I was just happy and proud of our team. You know what I mean? Not winning Coach of the Year, but we know who he is. Hell, man, I experienced COVID. You know what I mean? Just a week ago, I was here at home, couldn't be there with my teammates, and that's what you call next man up. They won 2 games in this series without me. And just shows you how crazy it is. First series, got the nerve thing, you know what I mean? Win the second series, end up with COVID. It's been a lot, man, and I want it not just for myself, but for everybody in that locker room.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic.
Hey, Chris. When you returned, you said you'd save the Clippers talk for after the series. So now that we're at this point, I guess, what was it like to go up against your former team?
Man, it's crazy because Jason Powell, the head trainer over there, is my family. You know what I mean? We usually talk all the time, and we ain't talk this whole series. Chauncey is my family, like my brother, and we ain't talked this whole series. I'm so happy for him getting a head coaching job, because me and him talked about it during quarantine, about what his next thing was gonna be. And when he said he was gonna be a coach, I was like, you're gonna be the best coach there is, because when we played together here, we used to be in our lockers right next to each other drawing up plays. So it's been hard not to tell him congratulations, So it's a lot of ties. Dennis Rogers, who was with me for, y'all know. y'all know. D-Raj ain't just the employee, that's my family, you know what I mean? And so, when you get to the arena for a game like this and you walk past and don't even speak, these people who mean a lot to me. And so to be in a series against them, to get to this is special.
Next is Chris Haynes with Turner, followed by Mark Spears.
Congrats, Chris. Could you talk about how you evolved into a player that keeps his composure? Because during this series, you had your, I don't know if I'll call him bouts, but DeMarcus, you and DeMarcus is going.
Oh, that wolfing. Yeah, ain't nothing. Ain't nothing.
But how do you keep your composure and not respond back like that?
Those who do. You know what I'm saying? You can do it, you do it. And I think I've just been on the other end of so many losses. You know what I mean? And I know what that feel like. And before the game, me and Jay was talking about it. We put the work in. If you put the work in, then you live with the outcome. You know what I mean? So we work. We're a work team. Past 2-3 games, I've been playing with my fingers buddy tape. These two, and I shoot around today. I said, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that tonight. And, excuse me, Book said he wasn't playing with his mask on either. And so it was good to see it all come together.
Next is Mark Spears with ESPN, followed by Sam Amick.
Chris, I saw you pointing up to the suite. I see the hat on. First question is just in terms of your family, I assume that's for the hometown.
Oh yeah, Trefo.
Talk about the hat and pointing up to your family.
Yeah, Winston-Salem, that's me, born and raised. Like I always say, all these years, like we still got a ways to go. We still got 4 wins, but all these years I done had my hometown and my family right there with me. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it ain't just for me. I asked Jay, I got an extra hat and a t-shirt so I can take it to my brother. You know what I mean? My brother, my whole career, he didn't miss 1 playoff game I'd have never played in, home or away. So anytime we win something like that, it's for my brother always.
I saw your dad once cry talking about your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, everybody got relationships. My pops is, that's my dad. Fortunately.
I'm talking about the relationship between you and your brother.
Oh, yeah.
What it meant to you.
Yeah, because it's just us. It's just us. I ain't got no sisters or nothing like that. It's just me and my brother. And my brother been with me since day one. Like literally. And everybody know my brother. You know what I mean? The referees know my brother. Everybody know my brother because he's there. You know? Like some people be there, but my brother is there. He always there. He tell me what I don't want to hear, and he just, I mean, I love him to death.
And can you reveal that you did bark plays to him when you were out?
I did, and that wasn't true. What, did I texted my brother?
Yeah.
No. My brother know the game on his own. He was telling Jay his own stuff. You talking about when I had COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was texting the guys that work in the back. My brother was saying his own stuff. He know the game. My brother. Hey, come on up, brother.
I'll let you post up with you. I need to get it lifted. It's next to him, man. What do you think, bro?
All right, Chris, next up is going to be Sam Amick with The Athletic, followed by Dan Wojcicki.
Yep.
CP, congrats, man.
Appreciate it, Sam.
You talked earlier this year about a conversation with Willie where he asked you, you ever think about what if you didn't leave this thing? And he said you didn't know what you might have learned, but at that point, we didn't know the story would get here. To be out there tonight when you've got Clippers fans waiting around, chanting your name and the way that it's a little bit of a Hollywood script, the way this thing went.
You gotta know, like I told you, Billy Crystal and his wife, the Hernandez family, Iger, you know what I mean? Like I played 6 years here, and a lot of these fans became my family. So Willie, he talks to me about AI all the time, who AI is obviously a hero of mine and texts me after every game. AI texts me after every game. And so Willie just said, if I could do it all over again, what I left. And I said, yeah, because I learned a lot of stuff along the way. And this is like a story book for this part, getting somewhere that I've never been before, going against a team that I always be connected to.
Got time for 3 more. Next is Dan Wojcicki with the LA Times, and then Mark Medina.
Hey, Chris. I know you want to win more than anything that drives you as a basketball player. But as some of this stuff has happened over the years, the thumb in a jersey,
Portland.
The hamstring, the Rockets,
Houston.
3-1. I mean, like, seriously.
I can run them off to you.
COVID, a week ago,
right.
The shoulder. Has it ever in your mind been like, this might not happen?
Nope. I ain't built like that. You know what I mean? It's just get to work. What was it, game 3? I found out I partially tore some ligaments in my hand. I was like, oh, here we go. But you just, I got an unbelievable team around me. A lady named Ann, you probably seen her. I hugged her when I walked off the court. She's been in every road game, home game, working on me, just trying to get me right for every game. So I'm appreciative to my team around me, my chef, all this. It's a game. It's a real live game that puts it all together.
This hit you differently, having gone through all that stuff?
Yeah, just because it's a lot. It's a lot. Even I'm a big thanks to Sam Presti for even allowing all this to happen. And I think back to my first conversations with Book. You know what I mean? With James Jones, all the stuff that had to happen in order for us to get here. right? It's just part of the process.
Final two questions are Mark Medina with USA Today and Rachel Nichols.
Chris, congratulations on everything.
Appreciate it, Mark.
Monty was saying that, you know, from when he was first coaching the Wolves, that he noticed that you've made some adjustments of just your leadership style, how to pick your spots of when to get on guys, when to be a nurturing team. And how do you look at how you've approached that over the years and how to your students?
Experience, you know what I mean? Just leadership experience. Like when they made that run some years ago, I'd have jumped up, been yelling over there on the bench or whatnot, but I just stayed there and was like, okay, you know, it's cool, because you learn how to deal with different guys, and if you go crazy like that, that might make them a little bit nervous or gun shy. But you know, I'm grateful for all the experiences, good or bad, and just gonna keep enjoying the process.
Final question is Rachel Nichols with ESPN.
I do want to ask about the two of you. That workout you did that first night, the day you were traded, and thinking back on that, and then Monty Williams has said that he tried to kind of tell you guys how to play with each other, and that pretty quickly he was like, I just need to get out of the way. What do you remember about both of those nights, or both of those experiences?
I got the trade happened, say it was on a Monday. That Tuesday morning I flew in and we had a gym, and Johnny, my trainer, worked us out. And cause then I had to leave and go shoot them State Farm commercials. Yeah, like it was all in one day. And I don't know, it's been cool, man, cause you think about it, like that first or second week of the season, coach met with us and said we had the worst starting five in the league. Remember that? Yeah. We had the worst starting five in the league, plus and minus. And me and Book, you know, we talked about it, and throughout the season we figured it out.
That's it.
Yep. Appreciate you.
Thank you for the time, Chris.
Have a good one.